Right now, millions of people are trapped in the prison of their own potential, going through the same routines and getting the same disappointing results, while secretly wondering if they're destined for mediocrity. What I'm about to share will sound impossible until you experience it yourself. You can become completely unrecognizable to yourself in just 7 days using Napoleon Hill's proven psychological principles. Most people believe that real change takes months or years, but that's the biggest lie ever told about human potential. Hill discovered something revolutionary during his 20-year study of successful individuals. The human psyche can be completely rewired in 7 days if you understand how to work with your subconscious mind rather than against it. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the exact 7-day framework that has transformed ordinary people into extraordinary achievers for over a century. Most people live their entire lives wearing a mask of who they think they should be, never realizing they have the power to completely rewrite their identity in just 7 days. The truth is, your current self is simply the result of repeated thoughts, actions, and beliefs that have become so automatic you don't even notice them anymore. But here's what Napoleon Hill discovered through decades of studying successful individuals. Identity isn't fixed, it's fluid, malleable, and completely under your control when you understand how to work with your subconscious mind. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be by stripping away the layers of conditioning that have kept you small. Every successful person Hill studied went through this same process of conscious identity reconstruction. The magic happens when you realize that your brain can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one, which means you can literally reprogram your self-concept through consistent mental rehearsal and aligned action. Think about this. Every morning for the next 7 days, you're going to wake up as a slightly different version of yourself. More confident, more decisive, more aligned with your true potential. This isn't wishful thinking. It's neuroscience, wrapped in Napoleon Hill's timeless wisdom. Your subconscious mind is like a loyal servant that will work tirelessly to make your reality match whatever identity you consistently feed it. The key is consistency, not perfection, not dramatic gestures, but showing up every single day with clear intention about who you're becoming. But here's where most people fail in identity transformation. They try to change everything at once and burn out within days because they're fighting against years of mental programming with nothing but willpower. Hill's approach is different. It's surgical, strategic, and sustainable because it works with your psychology instead of against it. You're going to choose one specific identity trait you want to embody. Maybe it's decisive, disciplined, or confident. And for 7 days, you're going to act as if you already possess this quality naturally. Every decision you make, every conversation you have, every challenge you face, you'll ask yourself, how would someone who is naturally your chosen trait handle this situation? What you'll discover is that identity isn't something you have. It's something you practice, and the more you practice, the more real it becomes. The difference between people who create extraordinary lives and those who settle for mediocrity isn't talent, luck, or circumstances. It's their relationship with daily decisions. Most people make decisions from a place of reaction, emotional convenience, never realizing that every single choice is either moving them closer to or further away from the person they want to become. Napoleon Hill understood that successful people have a completely different decision-making framework. They don't ask, what do I feel like doing? They ask, what would move me closer to my goal? This shift in questioning creates a domino effect that transforms not just individual choices, but entire life trajectories. The 7-day challenge isn't about making perfect decisions. It's about making conscious ones. Think about the last decision you made before reading this. Was it aligned with your highest vision for yourself? Or was it just the path of least resistance? Tomorrow morning, you're going to start a new practice that will feel uncomfortable at first, but will quickly become the foundation of your personal transformation. Every decision, no matter how small, will be filtered through your 7-day identity goal. Choosing what to eat for breakfast, how to respond to that difficult email, whether to watch one more episode or go to bed early. Each choice becomes an opportunity to reinforce the identity you're building. What's fascinating is that your brain will start automatically looking for opportunities to make identity-aligned choices throughout the day, creating a momentum that feels almost effortless after the first few days. The secret that Hill discovered through studying Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and other titans of industry is that momentum isn't built through massive actions. It's built through consistent small decisions that compound over time. Each day of the challenge, you're going to track your decisions in 3 categories: decisions that strengthened your new identity, decisions that weakened it, and decisions that were neutral. This isn't about judgment or perfection. It's about awareness, because awareness is the first step toward conscious change. By day 3, you'll notice something incredible happening. Your decision-making speed will increase, your confidence in your choices will grow, and you'll start experiencing what Hill called definiteness of purpose, a clarity that makes complex decisions feel simple. The people around you will start noticing something different about your energy, your presence, your certainty, even though they won't be able to put their finger on exactly what has changed. Excuses are the comfortable lies we tell ourselves to avoid the discomfort of growth, and they're so seductive because they always contain just enough truth to feel justified. Napoleon Hill spent decades studying both successful and unsuccessful people, and he discovered that the primary difference wasn't intelligence, resources, or even opportunities. It was their relationship with excuses. Unsuccessful people collect excuses like trophies, polishing them until they shine so brightly they become more attractive than their dreams. Successful people, on the other hand, have developed what Hill called excuse immunity, the ability to recognize excuses for what they really are: fear dressed up as logic. The 7-day challenge is designed to break your excuse patterns by making them impossible to hide behind. Here's a powerful exercise that will shock you into awareness. For the next 24 hours, write down every excuse you make or think, no matter how small or seemingly justified. I'm too tired to exercise. I don't have time to read. I'm not good at public speaking. I can't afford to take that course. Capture them all. You'll be amazed at how many excuses flow through your mind in a single day. Most of them so automatic, you don't even recognize them as excuses. This isn't about self-judgment, it's about self-awareness, because you can't change what you can't see. Most people are shocked to discover they make dozens of excuse-based decisions every day, each one reinforcing the identity of someone who has valid reasons for not pursuing their potential. The transformation happens when you start replacing every excuse with a question. Instead of "I don't have time," ask, "How could I make time?" Instead of "I'm not good enough," ask, "How could I become good enough?" This simple shift from statement to question opens up possibilities that excuses slam shut. Hill called this applied faith, the practice of acting as if success is possible, even when you can't see the complete path forward. During your 7-day challenge, you're going to catch yourself making excuses and immediately translate them into action steps. "I don't know how to start a business" becomes, "What's one thing I could learn about starting a business today?" The goal isn't to eliminate all obstacles, it's to eliminate the mental obstacles that prevent you from addressing the real ones. What happens next is almost magical. Solutions start appearing where you once saw only problems. Opportunities become visible where you once saw only limitations. and you start experiencing what Hill called the habit of going the extra mile, doing more than circumstances seem to require because you know that extraordinary results require extraordinary commitment. The human brain is wired to seek massive transformations and instant results, but Napoleon Hill discovered something counterintuitive. Through his research, the people who achieve the most dramatic life changes focus obsessively on the smallest improvements. This paradox explains why most people fail at lasting change. They set goals so ambitious that success feels impossible and failure feels inevitable, creating a cycle of disappointment that eventually leads to giving up entirely. Hill's 7-day challenge approach works because it's built on what modern psychology calls minimum effective dose, the smallest amount of action that produces a meaningful result. When you stack these small wins consistently, they create a compound effect that can literally transform your entire life trajectory in just 1 week. Think about it this way. If you improve just 1% in any area every day for 7 days, you'll be 7.2% better by the end of the week. And that's assuming no compound effect, which is unrealistic because improvements in one area always spill over into others. But here's where it gets really powerful. Small wins do more than create progress. They rewire your brain's reward system, creating what neuroscientists call success momentum. Each tiny victory releases a small hit of dopamine, the same neurochemical that drives all achievement and motivation. Your brain starts associating taking action with feeling good, making it easier and easier to choose growth over comfort. Hill observed this pattern in every successful person he studied. They had developed an almost addictive relationship with small, consistent improvements. The key is choosing wins that feel almost ridiculously easy, but are directly connected to your larger goals. If you want to become a writer, your small win might be writing just 1 sentence every day. If you want to get fit, it might be doing 5 push-ups every morning. If you want to build confidence, it might be making eye contact with 1 stranger each day. The goal isn't the action itself, it's the identity reinforcement that comes from proving to yourself that you're the kind of person who keeps commitments to themselves. By day 4 of the challenge, you'll notice something incredible. The small wins start feeling too easy, and you'll naturally want to do more. This is when the real transformation begins, because you're no longer forcing yourself to change. You're choosing to grow from a place of strength and confidence. Hill called this the success habit. And once you develop it, it becomes the foundation for achieving goals that once seemed impossible. The most successful people he studied weren't necessarily the most talented or motivated. They were simply the most consistent at turning small actions into daily victories. The real test of any transformation isn't what happens during the challenge. It's what happens on day 8 and beyond, when the initial excitement wears off and you're faced with the choice between returning to old patterns or continuing to build on your new foundation. Napoleon Hill understood that temporary changes create temporary results, which is why his entire philosophy is built around developing what he called success consciousness, a fundamental shift in how you see yourself and your capabilities that becomes permanent because it's based on evidence you've created through your own actions. The 7-day challenge isn't the destination, it's the launching pad for a completely different way of living, one where continuous growth becomes as natural as breathing. Here's what most people don't understand about sustainable change. It's not about maintaining the same intensity forever. It's about creating systems that make growth inevitable, even when motivation is low. During your 7 days, you'll have discovered which actions feel energizing versus draining, which environments support your new identity versus undermine it, and which people encourage your growth versus pull you back toward your old self. This self-knowledge becomes the blueprint for designing a lifestyle that supports continuous improvement rather than fighting against it. Hill noticed that successful people don't rely on willpower to maintain their habits. They structure their lives so that success becomes the path of least resistance. The most powerful insight from Hill's research is that successful people think differently about time. They don't see their lives as a series of separate events, but as one continuous project of becoming who they're meant to be. Your 7-day challenge is just the first chapter of this larger story, and the habits you've developed are the tools you'll use to write the rest. Every month, you can run a new 7-day challenge focused on a different area of your life: relationships, health, creativity, leadership, financial intelligence, using the same framework but adapting it to whatever growth edge you want to explore next. What you'll discover is that the process becomes easier each time, because you've developed what Hill called mental discipline, the ability to direct your thoughts and actions consciously rather than letting them be controlled by circumstances or emotions. The question isn't whether you can transform your life in 7 days. You've already proven you can. The question is, what will you build with this newfound power, and how will you use it to create a life that exceeds even your current dreams? What you've just discovered isn't information. It's transformation technology that has been tested and proven by some of the most successful people in history. The framework you've learned represents a complete system for breaking free from the limitations that have kept you playing small and stepping into the version of yourself that your deepest dreams require. Here's what makes this channel different. We don't just inspire you to dream bigger. We give you the exact psychological tools that Napoleon Hill discovered through decades of studying winners and losers. The question isn't whether these principles work. History has already proven that. The question is whether you're ready to prove they work for you. If you're ready to become the architect of your destiny, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's the one identity trait you're going to focus on for your first 7-day challenge? Your future self is watching this moment. Don't let them down by choosing comfort over growth.